In Golden's brown mustard. Not stole, found, on black and white checkerboard floor, in the wake of your cart, moron man. Because you were drunk, or had been, when you woke us all up coming in the night before, making noise, breaking shit. Tell me something, mayonnaise brain. Why did she always make pancakes for you after a night like that? Why were the sounds of the on the plate so quiet, so peaceful almost? Hello, very good to be here. Kim, thanks so much for having me. Where did you go, Kim?
I'm right here. Thanks for coming, Scott.
I took my glasses off. I always like to think of that story I started with as funny. You guys want to hear a story about this that's longer than the story itself?
Yes!
The story about this is longer than the story itself. I heard through a friend connection that somebody was putting together an anthology called Flash Fiction Funny. And so I was like, okay, do I have any funny stuff? And I thought, this was the first thing I thought of. This piece just amuses me, you know. So I sent it to him, and I got response immediately. Like one of those things where you send the email and it comes back 2 seconds later. And it was like, Scott, this is a fine piece. It's not funny. Cool. I think it's funny. I went through kind of stages with it. I was like a little bit, peeved, and then I was like, a stupid idea for an anthology anyway. Flash fiction funny. I don't want to be in a book like that anyway. And then I came to see, you know what? It's really not that funny of a piece. All right, I'm going to read one. Read one called, it's slightly longer, called Say My Name. This is one, I wrote a few stories from titles in this book. As I was trying to get it together, the question is always like, what makes it a book? What makes it cohere? And at a certain point, none of the reviews have said anything about this, and maybe I'm wrong, but at a certain point, it occurred to me that what the collection was really about was identity, like sort of identity issues. And so I wrote a few titles that seemed to me like they would go well in a book like that, including the story title. And then I had to write stories for those titles. And so this is one of those called Say My Name. It starts off kind of iffy, but I think it's appropriately PG-ish type of thing. Okay. The sex had been artless and rushed, like drinking down water. But she didn't seem to hold it against him. Her hair was a little redder than he'd thought, and wild in the morning humidity. She searched the ground floor of the timeshare for her purse. The purse might have been left, she thought, in a room whose door was now closed, one of the rooms where people lay sleeping. Everyone was sleeping. Is there anything in the kitchen? She asked. She was going through a pile of sweaters and coats on a chair. It was strange to him, and enjoyable enough, her idea that they were in this together. She said, fucking A. He asked, what do you need out of it? My smokes. Get you a pack in town. My shades. Get some of those too. He listened to himself as he said this. She found the small purse on top of a bunch of shoes on the floor in the pantry. They walked to a diner. The waitress didn't look at them, but left a glass ashtray as she passed. It spun and made a singing sound as it wobbled to rest on the counter. Sherilyn, his companion, said to him. This was her name. He said it, but wrong. She opened her mouth. Inside it, smoke nearly held still. Sherilyn, she pronounced. Sherilyn, he repeated. He wasn't hungry, but ordered a roll. When they returned, the people he'd come with, his friends, were awake and looking at the woman in him. He hadn't removed his shades. Morning, they told him. Hey, he responded. He didn't know what they were thinking about him. He was thinking they were thinking something about him, and he was pleased. It was as if he was still drunk. All right.